I just got the Sunny Health Fitness bike. It just arrived. You can see this is all the different pieces it comes with. The box actually came pretty crushed and had a little crack in the plastic frame that you can see there, but I think it's just aesthetic, and Amazon said if it doesn't work, they would exchange it, so that's pretty nice of them. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to put it together and see about how long this takes me. I'll try to videotape some of the movement, but the goal is to get it right there on this little mat that I've also got on Amazon, so let's see what happens. All right, so the first step here is to unscrew the 4 bolts, 74 with Allen wrench 77, which is this guy. Actually comes with this handy dandy little, well, that was there originally, but hardware package, so that you can see which piece is which. Supposedly this is everything I'll need to put this bike together. And it looks like 74 is gonna be the back of the bike. So it looks like those washers are right there. So let's try to take them off. Okay, these screws actually come out significantly easier than I was even expecting them to. Standard, Allen wrench style. They were not put in too tightly. It also says to remove the tube, which looks like that just slides out fairly easily. I would say make sure you're building this on a mat or a thick towel or something, as it is quite heavy. And that's what was in there. They call it a shipping tube. I guess it's so that it doesn't have really sharp jagged edges in the box, but we're gonna remove this as well. Step is to attach the front and back things, the one with the wheels on the front with the wheel, and the one on the back goes there. It actually comes with this handy dandy little up sticker, so you know you're actually putting it the right way as well. And once again, it looks like the screws and the washers 9 and 10 are packaged next to each other, even 9 and 10. So let's cut those out, and we're using Allen wrench 77 again. These one at a time, just because the bike is quite heavy and I don't want it to fall while I'm screwing it in. So I'm gonna do the front first, and then I'm gonna go ahead and do the back. So you see I've lifted the back part down off of it at the moment. Tighten these probably about 70% of the way there just with my fingers. Now I'm gonna lift the back into place, screw it in, and then tighten them both. All right, so this next step seems to come with a fair amount of instructions. You'll see it's there. They've also included stuff here that is, making sure that you really know what you're doing and read it ahead of time before trying to put it in place. And I think what we're gonna do here is take off the little nylon. They call it a nylon nut. What I'm doing is I put it in gently, make sure that it makes sense. Looks like, yep, that is where your foot would go in. And now you kind of turn this in, and it'll actually specify this one's going counterclockwise because it is the left pedal. So you continue to do that, and then you get to the next step. See, once you kind of get it in as much as you can by hand, and it does recommend you always start that way, then use wrench, I think this is 79. And once again, it does come with all the parts you do need. Continue to turn it counterclockwise, and it does have this nice little blue line. Not always sure why it says to do that, or why that's there. Maybe we'll find out in a second. But once this is through, what we're gonna do is we're gonna hold the wrench, we're gonna hold the wrench so that the pedal stays in place. And then we're going to, it's sticking out nicely now. And it does say to do this as tightly as you can. And then what we're gonna do is take the little nut that we had and place that back on. But it does say to use the little spanner 80, which is this thing, to thread the end of the nut. Instructions do say is to increase the resistance knob kind of as much as you can, because as you start to apply force here, especially with the different wrench and spanner, you're going to want to make sure that you give yourself enough leverage, and if you don't do the resistance knob, this thing will start twisting and you might hurt your arm pretty badly. With one hand, but there's wrench kind of holding that side in place. This is the spanner, a nice groove holding that in place. So what you're gonna do is while you hold this one, tighten with the spanner so that it's really tight and in place. And it does warn you against riding backwards, as it might loosen the pedals, so I guess do not ride backwards on this bike. These are actually going to go in opposite directions, so this back one with the spanner is going to be turned clockwise, where the front turned counterclockwise. So just important to note, as you want to make sure it's really tight. And there you have it. That's one fully connected pedal to it. It does seem to be pretty tight in there and pretty strong. That's about as much as the bolt went through, if you want. Interestingly, this time now, it's gonna go the other way, so right to right. But I think what it's telling me now is when I remove this nut, now the crank arm is going to be turned, so the main pedal we're going to turn clockwise this time, and then when I insert it and use the spanner, where the spanner part is going to go counterclockwise. I guess because they're on opposite sides, but going in the same direction eventually. So I can by hand before using the wrench. It's something, I guess, I actually don't know why you do. If you know why you do that, let me know in the comments. I guess it's just in case you screw up. It's not in all the way would be my guess, but I could be completely wrong. So we're gonna continue to tighten this. I'll see if I can show you the full thing now, because this probably, in flipping through the pages, this looks like one of the more complicated parts. So now we are gonna continue to turn that clockwise. And yeah, it looks like I can't do a great job of doing this on video, so I'm gonna stop doing a video. Another completed pedal, and once again, I'm just trying to visualize that yes, your foot would kind of nicely slide in there and pedal as you can go. So it seems to make sense so far. Let's move on to the next step, which seems to be, oh sorry, there's actually one more thing on step 3, and that's to remove the pre-assembled screws number 22 and the washer from the main frame. So let's go see. It kind of gives you these nice little graphics. 22 and 23 seem to be screws on, oh, there we go. And it looks like they're already coming out. And it does to tell you that, oh, that's where the water bottle holder is gonna go. Let's go, no, maybe, let's go find out. And I probably spent more time making the video than anything else. Did not come with a screwdriver, but don't worry, I have a screwdriver. So we're just gonna disconnect these. And then yeah, we will do it. To Sunny Health and Fitness, I was wrong. Apparently you really should read all the instructions first. It does come with a screwdriver. It's a bit strange, but there you go. There is a screwdriver at the end of this spanner. Yeah, honestly, I just prefer to use my own screwdriver. This one kind of reminds me of a mace. It's probably the most simple step. I've now got the water bottle holder in. Didn't even know this bike came with a water bottle holder. Seems like a pretty decent size for one. So that's quite nice, and it's at a good position, at least in my opinion. Seat post. I'll call it the adjustment knob, seat post adjustment knobs. There we go, we're out. One simple piece. Then we take this guy and we place it in to the desired height. I'm only 5'6". There we go. That kind of goes in fairly easily. I'm only 5'6", so I have no idea yet. I'm actually gonna stand up to the bike and see where I am later. It does look like, you know, just wanna make sure you align it to a hole. Step 4, which is actually to remove the seat slider. So similar to the step 4, we're just gonna remove this. And you see they actually come out pretty easily, but when I did tighten this, that feels pretty secure. I don't think that's gonna go anywhere. And next we're gonna actually do the seat post, and everything came in these little bags that you can see here. And we're actually starting to run out of bags, which I'm feeling good about. And the next one is the one that kind of has this weird rounded edge, which I do remember seeing when we unpacked. There we go. So next we're gonna take this, and then we're kind of gonna do the same thing. It looks like it is adjustable on the seat as well, because it does have multiple screws. So it looks like we're just sliding this down, sliding this into place like that, and then we're going to screw it in again. Lines on it, assuming they line up there, let's find out. I can't really tell. On the seat slider, which was pretty easy, it's just this seat. Most of the reviews do complain about how uncomfortable the seat is. I'll give it a good give. It's not the most forgiving seat. But it's a bike seat, you know, they're fairly changeable as far as I understand. And it does say to secure it in place, but it does tell you that before you fully tighten it, to make sure you get it at the right angle, whether you want it a bit more forward or just flat or for whatever reason backwards. For me, I'm just gonna get it pretty straight. And then it actually doesn't tell you what to use to tighten these, but I'm assuming one of the spanners or wrenches is gonna work just fine for these nuts. Really too high. So if you are 5'6" like me, you probably want it to show maybe only one hole, I would say. I think it's just a little bit too high, so let's go do that. It's actually pretty easy, standard, you know, you kind of loosen it and then you pull it out. And then it, you know, you just kind of hold it as you push it into the right position, and it did click right into place. Let's go see for myself. I'm feeling like this is in a good position. Oh, there are numbers on this. I was looking for those, so maybe a 3. To make sure you really tighten these bolts in as much as you can. So I just really went to town on these nuts, making sure they're into town, or sorry, making sure that they're in place. Why is this not focusing? There we go. He said that when it wasn't fully tightened, that they actually the seat kind of fell down, which I definitely don't want. So I definitely tightened them as tight as I could. I do recommend keeping a scissor with you. Oh, well, one note on the bolts there. I don't know why I don't think they're gonna include the right parts. They actually totally did. The 13 there was exactly the right one that I wanted. It may have even been corresponding. Nope, that 13, I'm not sure what it means. Like now we're gonna use the last of the screws and washers to insert this into place. So you'll see it should actually nicely fit those 2 big holes. Easy to put in, they tighten nice and tightly with the Allen wrench. There's these nice numbers on the side again to indicate what height you want. I'm gonna start here for arbitrary reasons, see what it is, and I can always adjust it from there. But apparently I'm complete. It says assembly is complete. This was about 1 hour and 10 minutes on the dot. I didn't really take much breaks or anything, but I was recording and trying to think about recording. I'm gonna give it a spin. Let's see how it goes. It does give you a bunch of instructions on adjusting the balance, the tension, the emergency stop, things like that, about adjusting the seat and some maintenance stuff. So I'm gonna go give it a spin, see how it is, see what it can do. Looks like I got rid of all the plastic things. There were these plastic blocks in place kind of here and at the bottom of the wheel as well, preventing you from using it. Once again, probably for shipping and for assembly, it was quite nice to have. Let's go give it a shot. Biking, look at that. You can see the parts over there. The seat's pretty hard, but it bikes pretty well. As you get to higher tensions, the bike does make a little bit of noise, but that could just be, I don't know if that's permanent or if that goes away as it kind of gets used and put into its use. You can see on lower tension, that noise is not really as noticeable. It does have an emergency stop if you push that down so that you can stop biking. I'm gonna go ahead and stop. I'm pretty happy with how things turned out. You'll see it looks actually pretty nice. I haven't adjusted the balance or anything yet because I haven't noticed anything wrong. But I'm gonna go ahead and put my accessories on. Really, I just attached this iPad holder. I like to just, kind of watch some movies when I'm working out. So I just attached it there at a good angle, played around with it for a bit. Overall, I'm actually really impressed with the bike, especially for the price. I was expecting it to be, I know people said it was sturdy, but I was really impressed by just how sturdy it is. Now that I'm pretty happy with the position of everything, I'm gonna go through once more and just kind of really tighten the bolts around the bottom, the top, kind of everywhere I can. Yeah, it feels really good. I haven't done a full workout on it or anything, but I will try to update when I can. One thing I will say is you are left with some extra pieces, so don't worry. They say you can keep these or get rid of them. They're really just for the kind of packing materials. And of course, you would want to keep all of the different spacers. This little mace thing is actually used for the leveling equipment. So if you do need to level anything, you will need it. Yeah, and it looks quite good. I mean, look in the space, it looks nice. It doesn't take up too much room. I was able to adjust the foot pedals fairly easily. I've seen a number of people actually switch these for the clipless pedals. And obviously a lot of people change the seat or put a cover on it. Some people complain about the handlebars. I don't see anything wrong with them. They don't, you know, they're your typical kind of rubberized material, not, you know, your gel cushion or anything like that, but it's kind of what you expect. I did laugh when I realized that there are reflectors on the pedals. Honestly, I don't know why you would have a reflector on a stationary bike. Maybe it's a law that in some places that you just need to have reflectors on bikes. Yeah, overall pretty happy with how things turned out. It's black. This is the color that I got. I was a bit confused on what color I would get based on a lot of the pictures, and the models seem to indicate different ones. This is the, I think, SF-B1002 that I did get. It's set it both on the box as well as on the hardware package. I'm sure it also says somewhere on the bike. I just haven't been able to find it. Yeah, so I hope that helps in your decisions. I know I spent a lot of time on Amazon kind of looking at the different bikes, looking what I was going to buy, for what, how hard would it be. I was a bit sad when it arrived and it was particularly smashed in the box, but really there was a lot of styrofoam and coverings to get it into a pretty good shape. So I hope that helps everyone out there. If you have any questions, feel free to comment. I'm not necessarily sure I'll be able to help as I just kind of followed the instructions the best that I could. All right. I feel like this is my first YouTube video that I've actually done in many, many years. I feel like I'm supposed to say like and subscribe, but honestly, just like, you don't have to subscribe. I'm not going to be posting many videos.